Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Big up to everyone watching, whether you're watching on X or on YouTube. I hope you're all having a wonderful Tuesday as it stands. And listen, we've got plenty of news to go through today on this lunch show regarding Chelsea Football Club at the moment. We have updates from a number of areas. We have updates in terms of incomings. We have an update. We have a number of updates on players leaving as well. So listen, this is still going to be a busy window, I can imagine, right up until the end. And Chelsea want to get stuck in, mostly with sales. But I don't think that changes the fact that there is still business to be done. Incomings as well. Oh, here we go. We've got some good ones coming in. Big up to Stephen. I hope you're doing well. Chelsea Bayern Bundesliga players doesn't end well, and the Club World Cup hype could be hiding the fact that Xavi Simons could be another João Felix. I doubt it. I think his statistics would say otherwise. I think that would say otherwise. Good to see Piggy in the building. Big up to yourself. Diego looking at Hatto. We'll definitely speak about him. Big up to Jamie as well. Alexis, hope you're doing well. Big up to Brian. Chelsea boy Chris says, still Maresca out. You've done nothing but slander him on TalkSport, and the apology video was nothing short of a disgrace. Find some shame. I don't know if you mean I'm Maresca out or if you are. If you are, then fair enough. I don't think you'll ever be Maresca in, to be quite frank. We just won the Club World Cup, mate. So, and we probably saw the best performance that I've ever seen Chelsea play ever in terms of the occasion, the side that we beat, and the way that we managed to thrash them. So I wouldn't say that I'm a disgrace for apologizing. I'd say that I saw the light. And it would be worse if I didn't apologize. But listen, each to their own. Big up to you, Philip. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Jordan, as well. Good to see Ibrahim in the building. Yes, the beard is growing, but it's going to come off soon. We are the champions, absolutely. Where will Simons play? We just want to stack players who might never play for CFC. He would play as a left winger or a number 10 or an attacking midfielder, depending on how we set up. So I do think there's a space for Xavi Simons in this squad, and that would be ahead of Jamie Gittins, ideally, but rotating with him and maybe even rotating with Palmer at times as well. So, hey, we'll see what happens, but nothing's been confirmed as of yet. Maresca did his job. Why is he getting hate? He got us top 4, won us the Conference League, built a balanced team, and won us the Club World Cup when no one believed us. So, yeah, that's fair. I'm talking about you, Alex, saying the football was horrible to go back a couple of months. You said some horrible stuff like he isn't the right man. And I stand by what I said. You know, at the time, I think a lot of people agreed with me. So what I was saying wasn't exactly rocket science. It was poor. It was boring. It was hard to understand, inverting Reece James and you know, the way we were setting up in certain games. I mean, if you enjoyed watching Brentford away and Brighton and Newcastle, fair enough, but I didn't, and I've just been honest, and I've always been honest, and I'm always happy to admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong on Maresca, and I understand that I've got to take a little bit of heat. I appreciate that, so I'll go on any show and hold my hands up, and people can say what they've got to say, and that's why, you know, football fan channels are all about opinions. Man, this is my opinion. So you may like it, you may not. I'm no Sky Sports pundit, but I do have an opinion, and I do go to the games, and I love the club, and I just want the best for the club. And big up to Maresca. He's earned a lot of respect. I don't really think there's much more to say about it. We had our ups and downs, and we finished strong. Renato Vega will be going to one of Atletico Bayern or one Premier League club for 40 million euros. Use that money for Hatto. Well, that depends how much Hatto's going for. We are going to go through everything, guys. I'll go through a few more comments. And then and then we'll go from there. It would be an amazing transfer. Plus, he'd be good for us this season as well. It's true. Dual tense is crazy, though. Not as bad, but the Palmer right pocket, Siemens left pocket with an overlapping right back. Maybe. That is what I like with Gusto coming up. And then maybe you have an opportunity to play James in the midfield in a system that allows us to have a little bit more creativity down the right flank. I'm a big fan of overlapping fullbacks. A big fan. Say what you want. Whether it works or not, I'm not a fan of inverting fullbacks. I'm just not. I don't think it's a particularly attractive thing to see, especially on that right-hand side. Cucurella has proven that he is capable of doing it and playing to an exceptional standard as well. I always felt like Reece James, if I'm honest, most of the time looked pretty average when he inverted, although he had games where he looked better, like the Conference League final. Obviously, in the Club World Cup final, we just started in midfield anyway, so I wouldn't really say he was inverting. He was a midfielder to begin with. Any truth to the rumors of Jackson going to Man United again, mate? We'll speak about it. There is truth to the interest, so that's true. Poor that he was in the top 4 majority of the season. Tell me what we did in the Prem towards the end of the Roman era. I mean, I'm not talking about the owner, though. I'm talking about the manager. That's not what I'm talking about. But thanks for being open and honest. I appreciate the apology. No problem, buddy. No problem. Alex, how are you doing, mate? Sorry, missed your live sessions the last few days. That's all right, buddy. Listen, we're not doing. We used to do the dual stream. We used to do 2 a day, which is quite a lot. And I can do it, but it's hard to keep up with it, to be quite frank with you. So I've decided I'm just going to do 1 a day. Still better than most people, I think. I don't know if everyone's doing daily streams. And then I can really go through everything. We've got lots to talk about as well. And we don't end up repeating the same thing over and over. Although I will say I enjoyed doing 2 streams a day, but it's just not really sustainable. So, expect another lunch stream or evening stream tomorrow. I'll try and fit it in as best as I can. Okay, let's... I'll answer 1 or 2 more and then we'll dive into it, shall we? Reece James can't be a flying fullback anymore, though his body is shot. Drinking water from a new cup today. Did the Club World Cup lose its luster? No, it's just it needs a clean. So it is by the dishwasher. Am I going to go to the friendlies against Leverkusen and Milan? Yes. And if you are there, I look forward to seeing you guys. I will be doing fan cams. Okay, Kev, you want to join me? Sorry, Kev. Let me send that over. I forgot about that, to be honest. I will send that over to you right now. We will be joined by Mr. Simmons. Okay, here we go. So, without further ado, let's dive into it, guys. Let's dive into it. Let's start off with the recent news, shall we? Because we've had some updates. Villarreal is expected to make a loan offer for Axel Disasi today and begin negotiations with Chelsea. This is according to L'Equipe, which is a French source. Generally speaking, I think L'Equipe is okay, but I'm not entirely sure how much truth there is to this. I can imagine there is probably interest. So, listen, Disasi is a good player. He gets a lot of criticism. He gets a lot of flack, but Disasi is a good player, and he's a player that I like watching. I like Disasi. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I like him, and I think that what he is able to bring to a team is, who can I compare Disasi to? He's almost like a Nicholas Jackson of centre backs. where he has great games and he has some shockers. But when you play him in his best position as a centre-back, you're going to get more out of the player. And Maresca's clearly not interested in playing Disasi as a centre-back. He's not a great ball-playing centre-back. That's not one of his strengths. Dealing with a high press, I think Disasi would struggle. Under Poch, he was given a license to go long and hoof the ball up the pitch. Maresca, obviously, you can do that at times. We've seen that we are willing to go long, but generally speaking, we want to pass out and be a little bit more intricate with our play. So, he's had a number of games playing in the Conference League. He played in a few domestic cup games as well. That is as far as we've seen Disasi this season at Chelsea. So this is a player who's been heavily underutilized, but we're not interested in developing him for Chelsea's project anyway. So move the guy on. We managed to get a £4 million loan fee for Aston Villa when we were trying to negotiate more. We ended up shooting ourselves in the foot on that one. I think we wanted about 7 or 8, and they actually lowered their offer, and we had to accept that because there was no one else. I think Tottenham ended up pulling out of the deal, or Disasi rejected Tottenham, something like that. So yeah, he's going to go out on loan, and you probably get 5-6 million for him. And that means you would have hopefully equated about 10 million in loan fees since he comes in. We paid 40 million for him. So then are you able to hopefully add on an option to buy for 30, at least break even? But then I don't know if we're break even, if we're even willing to do that. I think that we're all about profit. So, yeah, when you hear about some of the players we're going to talk about on this show, there is a lot of question marks about profitability and whether we can make profit. And that's where I think we're in a bit of a pickle with some of the signings we've made. The only thing that we have on our side is they can't run down their deals because their deals are so long, and their wages aren't ridiculous. Some of the wages are ridiculous, but a lot of the players can be moved on relatively easily. So yeah, that's a positive thing, especially with players like Disasi. Like, it's not like clubs aren't able to pay his wage. On about 100k and 90k around that mark. So perfectly viable for most sort of first division sides to be able to pay that out. And yeah, we obviously saw the interest from Saudi, Neom as well. There was a rumor that they were interested in taking on Disasi, and then 5 minutes later, Ben Jacobs reported they have ended their interest in Disasi. I mean, wasn't that typical? But that's fine, because there are going to be clubs interested in our players, guys. Even the players that we don't want, that are on 300 grand, like Sterling. There are clubs interested, but they're just not willing to pay the money. Okay, so we have to try and find some leeway in negotiations. We also have to understand that we are limited with a certain amount of spots for loans abroad. I'm not exactly sure how many you can get. What's the regulation? How many loans can you do abroad? Is it 5 or maybe less? Can anyone let me know in the chat? Just because I can't remember off the top of my head. Or is it 4, 5? It might even be 3. Last season we had Petrovic, Santos. No. It'll be less than that, Neil. Less than that. It's capped. You can loan as much as you want domestically, but if we're talking about loans abroad, it's totally different. And it's because of the multi-club models and stuff like that. They want to try and restrict, how clubs like Chelsea and Man City can monopolize everything, which is understandable, but it's just annoying. You all right, Kev?
How are we?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
All good, man. All good. All good. All good. All good. How's everybody in the chat? How are you? How are we doing today?
Doing very well, mate. Very well. Peter says it's 3. That's how many loans you can do abroad, right? International loans.
I couldn't tell you.
I thought
it was 5. I thought it was 5. I think it might be 5.
We have 3 at Strasbourg.
Who's the third one?
Okay, we got Saar. Kendry Pires is not done deal yet. Mike Penders is a done deal. So you got 2 guaranteed. Kendry Pires should be done. So that's 3 at least. I need to find this out. This is going to bug me. It's all right, guys. I'll figure it out. Let's check out how many international loans are football clubs allowed to do. I'm asking Grok. FIFA regulations limit football clubs to a maximum of 6 international loan signings in and 6 international loan exits per season, effective from the 24-25 season. This applies to players over 21 and not those not club trained. Players aged 21 or younger and club trained players are exempt from these limits. Additionally, a club can have a maximum of 3 players loaned out to a single club and 3 players loaned in from a single club during a season. These rules aim to promote youth development, competitive balance, and prevent player hoarding. Domestic loans are not covered by these FIFA rules, but national associations must align their regulations by July 1st, 2025. So does that mean that's going to become a thing in England? They must align their regulations. The fuck does that mean?
Align the regulations means it's got to be in a loan. It's got to be the same as away for them, isn't it?
My God. Well, that's annoying. Well, I hope that doesn't. Yeah. Well, fair enough. Hey, what's your thoughts on Disasi, Kev? Before we move on, he's got interest from Villarreal in Spain.
Get him done. I wouldn't even look to get him. I wouldn't even look to loan him again. It's just a waste of time.
But Kev, they're not going to make a loss. That's why they're going to loan him, not because they want him.
Well, if they're going to loan him, it's got to be a loan with an obligation to buy. Simple as that.
Why would anyone accept that? If I was Villarreal, I would not accept that.
Well, try and get as much possible from a loan fee. Hopefully, he has a good spelling in Spain, and someone comes up next season. Obviously, he's not a part of the long-term plans from Maresca. It doesn't suit what we want to do playing at the back. He's actually a disaster playing at the back. We've seen it how many times. He gives the ball away, doesn't replay, doesn't track his runs. He's just not up to a Premier League standard. So, yeah, a big waste of money signing him in the first place. But I'm hoping we can recuperate some of the money that we spent for him, get him off the books and clear some funds up, or even clear another space to bring another centre back in.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a Disasi hater. I just don't think he suits the system.
No.
I kind of feel,
especially when we was playing him right back as well.
Yeah,
disaster right back. It's just a recipe for disaster in every game. You're literally at the edge of your seat thinking, what's he going to do next? So, yeah, it hasn't been a good spell for him in the Chelsea shirt, but he maybe goes to another team and does well. But I just feel like the Premier League and the pace of the game doesn't suit him as a player.
No, that's fair enough. I'm with you on that. I do think that Disasi's a player that can thrive in a system where, basically you don't have to play out from the back all of the time. Maybe a slightly less aggressive defensive structure where he's not, asked to come up and have to deal with as many counterattacks. If he's playing in low blocks, we've seen Disasi perform very well. I remember away at Man City, that was probably his best ever performance for Chelsea when we drew that game. We drew that game 1-1. Yeah.
Me and you was going absolutely sick when Sterling scored first half.
Yeah, I remember that very well.
That was his best, and that was the reason being is because we kind of allowed City to have the ball. We sat in our shape, and he's good in terms of when he's got players around him. But when he's left isolated in a 1-to-1 situation, say when he's playing right back or right centre back, he just doesn't react. He's capable of giving away plenty of fouls as well. So yeah, it just doesn't suit us, unfortunately. Maybe a team he'd like to sit in the shape, and when balls come in the box, he's got a pretty good leap on him. He can do his thing then. But the way we want to play now with a high line and pushing players at the pitch, if he gets exposed to a 1-on-1, it's just going to be a recipe for disaster. So yeah, hopefully we can get the deal across the line, and best for all parties really.
Yeah. No, listen, Chelsea obviously they want a permanent deal. We all know that, but I don't think we are going to have that luck, to be honest. But we'll see what happens. But when we look at players potentially coming in, according to Ben Jacobs, Chelsea is still active on Gerald Hatto after opening fresh talks. No bid yet, but it is one to look at. We know that the valuation was around sort of 40 million in terms of what the player's actually worth. 35 would be a good deal for Chelsea. 40 a fair deal. 45 is a stretch. But I think we could accept it. And anything more is just a little bit too much for me. And then just going on to, obviously, the way Ajax view Hatto as well. Apparently, they're looking at upwards of 60 million. That's what they want for the player, or at least what we've heard. So, I mean, first of all, Kev, do you think it's a good signing? What are you willing to pay? And yeah,
I think from one of the best up and coming centre backs / left backs in the world at the moment, with Champions League quality, with experience of being a young captain as well. 50-60 million pounds is a reasonable amount in this day's market. I've seen a lot of him, watch clips of the guy. He's the next big thing as a left back as well. Very young. I'm sure he will be happy being second string to Cucurella and pushing him. You never know. Cucurella gets a knock and he gets his opportunity. And to think as well, he can play centre back and left. Covers 2 areas in one. So I thought 50-60 million would be reasonable. Him, Xavi Simons in the door. That's 2 Dutch players. A bit of a connection there as well. So yeah, it just makes sense. But it's just a fact if we've got those funds available. 60 million pounds, a lot of money, isn't it?
So we're definitely going to have the funds, especially when you look at potential sales. I mean, not sure I agree with all of these numbers, Nads. I mean, you're definitely not getting 35 million for Broha, that's for sure. A little bit generous with some of the numbers, but if you're looking at Disasi, if you got 30 million for him, I don't think you can. Oh, sorry, sorry, he's put 15 million for Broha. Okay, I still think you struggle to get that, to be honest. But let's just say, we've got upwards of 100 million of sales at least that can still happen at a bare minimum. So there's money that can be generated. We can reinvest in our Madueke funds. Look at Xavi Simons as a direct replacement. You're getting upwards of 52 million for Madueke. And then you're basically spending a similar amount, maybe within a few million, to bring in Xavi Simons. That's an upgrade. I already said Esteval was an upgrade anyway. So it's not like we're desperate for Xavi Simons, but it's one of those positions where we could definitely use a bit of extra depth. People say Chelsea are stockpiling. You won't say we're stockpiling when Cole Palmer gets injured and you need someone in that 10. You won't say we're stockpiling when Cucurella gets in. You won't say we're stockpiling when,
Natal gets injury.
All of these guys. If we only have one striker available because the other 2 are out, then you'll understand why we have this depth. So there's no issue with depth. Depth is not a problem. It's first of all, you want to be smart with the depth you have. I mean, if you have 3 world-class strikers, obviously there's going to be an issue because someone's going to be unhappy. That's not great for a dressing room. But if you have these young, hungry players coming in, knowing the real value of this project that they're walking into, then I think that even a Delap who wants game time, or a João Pedro who wants game time, can accept there will be games where they don't play, and there will be periods where they're on the bench. And I am talking about João Pedro as well, who I love. I think he's been fantastic. I mean, I didn't know what to think when he came in. If you look at his stats at Brighton, it wasn't particularly impressive, but my God, he's absolutely smashed it so far at since he's come into the club. These guys need to have a certain mentality and a certain humbleness. And as long as we have that within the squad, then it doesn't matter how much depth we have, because everybody's going to understand that if they are good enough, they will get into this squad. And as long as they have that feeling, then you will retain a strong dressing room and ultimately good performances on the pitch as well. And that's where things went wrong a couple of years ago when we had too many players, because you had half of the squad that didn't want to be there. You couldn't get rid of Ziyech. You couldn't get rid of Pulisic. Jorginho didn't want to be there. Kovacic didn't want to be there. Mount didn't want to be there. The list goes on and on. Havertz, all of these guys. And you wonder why we didn't play well. Obviously, we lack quality to an extent, but a lot of it is just the feeling and the chemistry. So it's not just about bringing in great players in terms of ability. I mean, we know Hato's a good player, but also we know he captains Ajax. And what's wrong with bringing in another leader into the dressing room? I always think that's a great thing. People say, oh, you can have too many characters. That's fine. But what kind of characters? Are we talking about, lots of players like, I don't know, let's just say João Felix. I don't think that's great for the dressing room. But if you're going to get lots of players like Enzo Fernandez with that mentality, nobody's going to complain. So that's where I do think this Hato signing's great, because not only does it fit into what we're doing tactically, and he's versatile, we can play as a centre-back and a left-back, but on top of that, he brings good characteristics into this squad, and he ticks the boxes that Chelsea are looking for anyway in terms of his age and all of that stuff.
Precisely. He ticks all the boxes in a good way, and he's not coming into a mess like you said a few years ago. We've got a stable squad now. We've got a winning squad now. We just need cover. There's still Chilwell, remember, to get rid of. There's still a lot of players that need to be shipped off. So, what we don't want to be doing is rushing into these signings and not getting rid of the ones we've got right now. So it's pretty hard to judge where we're going to go with these signings. But I'm sure they're actively working on it right now as we speak to try and get them off. And this is what I said last week, Alex. It's a mess. Coming back to Cobham, look at how many players that we need to get rid of. You don't want to be.
It's only a mess, Kev, if it doesn't work. Like if we can't rotate. I don't think it's a mess, because I think that
we've got so many players that we need to get rid of. There is quite a few, isn't there? There's about 10 players right now just there.
There's interest in basically all of them. I mean, the only players that I can look at that I'd say, to be fair, there's probably no interest in. I can't imagine there's much. No, there is interest in Sterling. It's just people can't afford him. That's the problem. Like there is interest, but maybe if I look at a player like Broha, for example, maybe we struggle to shift him on, or trying to think if there's anyone. I mean, Broha's the main one that I'm like, I don't know what we do with him. Maybe we struggle to get a good amount for Ugo Chukwu as well. We certainly won't get what we paid for him. Chukwuemeka financially nobody seems to want to take on that responsibility, but there's definitely going to be interest. So, I don't think that's an issue. It's just at the right price. And look, the way I see it, if Sterling's on 325 grand a week, he's not involved in this. I mean, we might as well move straight on to Sterling, to be fair, because he is a topic that's popped up. We had Simon Johnson from The Athletic talking about the amount that Chelsea would be willing to accept for Raheem Sterling. Offers of £20 million will be accepted by Chelsea for Raheem Sterling. He began pre-season training last week, and a Champions League club is in and is keen to sign him. I mean, first of all, I think 20 million is a good deal for us,
Yep.
especially if you're able to get his wages off the book. But it's interesting as well because like there is interest, but nobody's going to spend 325 grand a week on this guy's wages. Nobody's going to do it.
No way.
So then I ask you this, Kev. Like, what is how many years he got left? 2 years left on his deal, probably, right? 2 years. So you got 325 grand a week to pay off for 2 years. So what is that over? Oh my God, 52.
It's a lot of bread.
Times, that's 17 million pounds a year almost. Times that by 2. That's just under 34 million. All right, that you've got in wages for Sterling. Okay. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I don't even know if this is possible, but I'm sure there's something that can be done here. Can we not agree a fee with the club for 20 million, as an example, and then just cover part of the wages for 2 years anyway? Still makes, basically you're cutting your losses with that fee, and your main priority isn't to make a profit on this guy because you can't do it. It's impossible.
No.
It's to get those wages off the books.
Off the books.
You are able to free up 34 million pounds.
Yeah.
Then
I feel like a loan deal with another team, but they're covering half of his wages.
Yeah, but Kevin, if you can get a permanent transfer and Chelsea still covers some of the wages, which I don't even know if that's
they can buy him out. They can buy part of his wages out.
Let's just say this, Kevin.
They can buy him out. They can buy him out the contract. If you mean that, they can buy him out his contract.
What do you mean buy him out?
So basically, the team offers the amount they want. So they offer £20 million. Then Chelsea can offer the team to buy him out the contract. So they cover part of the contract with them. Do you understand what I mean?
Right. So they buy him permanently, but Chelsea still pay part of his wage.
Part of the contract, basically. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we're on the same page.
That's happened before, but it's very
rare.
It doesn't happen very. It's happened before in the past, but you don't see it happening very frequently right now. The other thing is, which a lot of teams are doing, is the loan, in it, a loan, but 50-50 on split on the wages, or 40-60, whatever split on wages. It's going to be difficult because he's on so high wages. It's going to be hard, but there's got to be some way we can negotiate to get him out. Because at the end of the day, a guy that's not going to be part of your plan, sitting around on £17 million a year, he said. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Just under. It's about over the 2 years. It's about 34 million quid. So listen, I mean, my thing is this: if Chelsea even are willing to cover 50% of his wages for 2 years, and that might be his current wage, I don't fucking know. If you can save 16 million quid and make a 20 million and get a transfer fee for 20 million pounds, like, it's worth it. Even if we have to pay 100 grand a week for 3 years, that's saving money with the fee as well. Like, you'd rather that than paying 325. Like, even the Arsenal loan, people say, all this stuff, and Arsenal obviously weren't happy either because he didn't perform, but it was 100 grand a week we saved. We were still spending 225 grand a week on a player that wasn't even a part of our club, and we were saving 100 grand as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
So listen, as far as with Sterling, this is a guy that, well, I mean, he just took advantage of a great offer. How can you dispute that? But I mean, if you're talking about feeding your family, he's going to have quite a few families to feed with that salary. Who wouldn't say yes to 325k and be able to be in London with your family? You don't even have to go to Saudi. I mean, he's probably been taxed hard, but still, who gives a fuck? Like, you're doing fine. You're doing okay.
Yeah. I feel like when we bought him, I was pretty excited about it, to be fair, because he was coming out of a winning team, and I thought he'd bring that winning mindset to the team, and it just didn't work out from day one, hasn't it? But we're now left with the situation where we've got to get him off the books, and it's got to be sharpish. You've got him and Chilwell. Chilwell's on 250 grand a week, I think, isn't he?
Chilwell's on about 210, as far as
210. So look at the amount of wages that we need to clear, and these could be put into younger up-and-coming players like the model we're doing now, or we could go and get a world-class stopper, centre-back. There's so much we could do by getting these off the books, and it's going to be very, very difficult. I just feel like if we can't get the best amount for a transfer, a loan for both of them has got to be the next closest thing to that. And obviously, the team that we loan them to have got to cover the wages, because 325 grand out.
Nobody is going to cover 325, mate. No one in there.
At least a split. There's got to be some negotiation.
Mate, we would be lucky to get 150. We would be lucky to get 150. If they're willing to do what Arsenal did, I would accept that deal again. Yeah. I would. I mean, especially if it's later down the line and nobody else is interested. But I mean, as far as we're hearing from Simon Johnson, there is interest from a Champions League club for 20 mil. Now,
apparently Turkish teams are looking at him, apparently, so, and they've got a lot of money.
Do they? Do they? Yeah. I mean, I mean, listen, I know Fenerbahce have been big spenders in this window, and I know that Galatasaray like a nice juicy contract, but I feel like they've spent their cash on Sane and Osimhen, so I'm very doubtful that Sterling is going to be the next piece of the puzzle for them. Fenerbahce, don't really know enough about it. I know that Trapanzel were going to get Saul, and that fell through. Maybe Besiktas. Like, I'm not sure. Where's this Turkish money coming from, though, man? That was never a thing. So where's that come from?
I ain't got a clue. But
why have the Turkish clubs now got all this cash?
I ain't got a clue. But they're splashing the cash, aren't they? They're splashing the cash left, right, and centre. They've got a massive influx of players from Italy moving from Italy to Turkey. And
why? Well, the Italians don't like to pay, so I mean, if the Turks are offering the money, then
Cardi's gone over there recently. You got Osimhen's gone over there. So they're bringing in a lot of big players. So I'm sure Fenerbahce fans always like to have big players in the team, don't they? That come to Fenerbahce, you see it on the Instagram sometimes. Fenerbahce so I'm sure. If it was a Turkish club that's offered the money, I don't think they would be bothered about spending the wages, because they've got the money. So there's got to be some way we can get him out, because time's ticking now. We're the team that have gone to the Club World Cup. They've probably got about another week or 2 weeks to the back in training. What we don't want is the players coming in with that enthusiasm and the confidence and that, that feeling of a winning feeling, and coming into a negative column with players that don't want to be there. You don't want to mix that up.
Well, I mean, Bennington Bear makes an interesting point. Some people will say this is a bit extreme. He says, banish him from Cobham to train by himself, and if he even wants to be a thought in Thomas Tuchel's head, then he will move for a World Club place. See, my thought process is actually, we've proven that we can be extremely harsh on players. We did it with Chalobah, and fair play. Chalobah will always get my respect for coming back to Chelsea. If I was in Chalobah's position, I would have told Chelsea to fuck off, to be quite honest with you. But Chalobah came back and obviously did well. But if you have a player who's eating up cash, not offering anything to the club, not a part of the project, and you just want to shift him, then make his life harder. I mean, there's nothing else you can do. And you hear stories about that all the time. It's common practice for football clubs now to do that to players. And listen, we're not sitting here saying that, we want Chelsea to abuse Sterling. We're not saying that. But don't let him train with the squad. Put him in a different dressing room. Don't let him interact with the players. He is an employee of this football club. He will do what Chelsea fucking tell him to do. And if that means the first team are having lunch at 1:00, Sterling can have lunch at 2:00. Yeah, that's the way I see it.
You just don't want to mix him in a couple of heads. You don't want to mix them in with what we've got right now. It just brings that negativity and that into the atmosphere. We just don't want it. I'm not against letting him train in reserves until he finds a move. It's happened very recently with Sancho until he found a move to us. He was with the reserves, and you just don't want to mix it in. He clearly doesn't want to be here. Clearly doesn't like it here. He went to Arsenal, give it the big one, he rubbed it in our face. How can we accept having him back anywhere near the club? So, anything possible just to keep these away from the lads that have gone to the Club World Cup, they're all going to be positive. They're all going to be raring to go. Sterling is not going to be the kind of player that you want around in your dressing room at that time. So I am all for banishing him and then letting him train.
But nobody's saying, Neil, that he's a nasty guy. Nobody's saying that. But this is a business decision, mate. It's a business decision. He is ultimately a liability at Chelsea. He's a liability at the moment.
I'm not disrespecting the guy, but look at the picture. Look at that picture. He's just got a loan move, not having a full transfer, a loan move. And look at that picture. He's holding the badge up. He's like, yeah, I'm Arsenal. He's put a post on saying I'm going to give him all that crap. So, yeah, he can never be accepted back at Chelsea again. Never. And even though he's a high, on his
he's had a great career, mate. But it's just he's not there anymore. He's not what he once was.
No, he's awful. And I remember it like yesterday, one of his worst games ever against Leicester in the FA Cup. He's pushing players off the ball and he's hit a free kick and it's nearly gone over the shed. And I remember it. And I was just like, I said to my dad, I said, this guy, like, what is wrong with him? He's so selfish. There was a time against Wolves when he could have squared the ball to Jackson. And I think it was Christmas Eve against Wolves and he could have squared it to Jackson. And he just hit it at the keeper. The guy's attitude stinks. You just do not want this guy anywhere near any of their players. So things are going to happen. And this is what I said to you a couple of weeks ago, Alex. The situation at the club, it's not easy right now. It's not even the fact of money. I'm not bothered about the money. It's just the fact that you're mixing in players that want to be at the club, players that are hungry to play for the club, and then players that don't want to be here. And it's not a good mix at all.
No, I mean, listen, it's not personal with Sterling. It's not personal. And he is a nice bloke. I remember when I was in Austria and we were watching, this is when Potter was the manager. It's when I met Bowley and Egbali actually in the hotel. And Bowley gave us a shout out. The players were going to have lunch and everyone was waiting for them. And every single player, I was with a guy called Steve, who's a good friend of mine. He was the chairman of the Chelsea pitch owners. So I still sit next to him a lot at Chelsea. And his son Anthony was there, and he's disabled. Anyway, every player ignored Anthony except Sterling. Sterling was the one player that come over and took a picture. So I've got a lot of respect for Sterling as a person. Yeah. It's not it's not anything to do with his character. His character is fine. He's not an issue. His character, his ability, and what it costs to have him at this club, just make it unviable. It's not sustainable for us. The direction we're moving in, like you look at Sterling's salary, mate. We have made about 85 million from the Club World Cup pounds. A sizable chunk of that over the next 2 years will go just on Sterling's. About 34 million pounds of that Club World Cup income is going on Sterling. So when you look at it like that, the fact that we've been successful and obviously made that money, generated that money, puts us in a position where we're able to pay out this, these salaries and still afford it because we are generating the revenue. But it still doesn't make it right. And that's the situation. I think we need to move on, Kev. We'll go on to João Felix next. So they're saying 20 million for Sterling, and they're saying 43 million is what Chelsea are looking to sell João Felix for. 43.3 million. Again, according to Simon Johnson. So, I mean, let me just ask you: out of those two transfer fees, we're taking into account the wages as well. What are we seeing as being the most viable option? What's realistic out of the two?
I think Felix would be more reasonable because he's not a massive wages, isn't he? It's just a massive upfront payment with the transfer fee. He's been touted to go back to Benfica. I think we need to lower that 43 million pounds. I don't think we'll get that for him. Maybe 35, and the team, with him going back to Benfica, they ain't going to offer him massive wages. He could be on a similar amount to what he is now. I thought the Sterling one's going to be an absolute nightmare to get over the line to get out because no team's going to want to pay those wages. And if Sterling doesn't want to lower his wages, you're then stuck with a player that doesn't want to leave, and you got to pay his wages because he signed the contract. So the Felix one for me will be a lot easier just because he's not on those massive wages. But that transfer fee, what we're suggesting, we're not going to get that for a player which is out of form. Let's say he went to Milan, didn't get a look in there. Back end of his Chelsea career, he was awful. You're not going to get £43 million, no way.
So what do we get?
30 to 35 million pound would be easy.
35.
30 to 35 million pound, I'd say, would be reasonable.
What do you think that Chelsea would actually accept, though? Do you think they'd accept 35 million? Because I don't.
They'd be stupid not to. How much do you pay for him? Is it 44 million pounds? 45? 45 million pounds, wasn't it, we bought him for? So take the L. Take the L. I'm sure we recuperated some of those transfer funds with the loan deal as well, didn't we? I'm sure it was £3 or £4 million AC Milan paid for him for the loan deal. So you're taking a £6 million loss over a year, and you're getting the wage off the books as well, and you're getting rid of a player that clearly doesn't want to be here, doesn't like the system, doesn't like the club. Just don't need him here. £35 million, accept it, take the L, and just be more strategic in the players you're bringing in next time, because the majority of these signings that we've made, like I said before, were all made by Clearlake, and 80% of them haven't worked. So what do you want to do? Keep players in the squad that don't want to be here and lower the morale within the squad, or get them off the books and take it out? For me personally, just get them out of the club, keep that winning mentality within the team, keep that positivity within the team, and push forward with next season. We just don't want the lads coming back from Cobham and having the likes of him, Sterling, Chilwell, and the rest of them lingering around. It's not good.
Who do you think's worse to have around the squad right now, Sterling or Felix?
Both was equally as bad.
I would say it's worse to have Felix, because I think his attitude is poor.
Yeah, I remember he put on a Instagram post straight away saying, "I'm happy to be in Milan" or something daft.
He said, "I want to stay at Milan." You said the same thing about Barcelona, mate. Yeah. Nobody wants you.
There you go. So he's just dug his own grave with us, isn't he? Like, same with Sterling when he's holding the badge.
So disloyal.
Both was
he's
equally...
like Lukaku, except he doesn't have any genuinely impressive seasons. He doesn't, mate. Even when people rated him at Chelsea when we were having such a poor season, it's only because everyone else was so bad that he looked good. It's literally the same as any mid-table side going, "Oh, okay, we like this player for, I don't know. Let's just look at Wan-Bissaka. Do you remember when Wan-Bissaka was great for Palace, and then he actually got a move to a big club, United, and it's just not the same, mate. It's not the same. When everyone else is playing well around you, if you can't raise your level again, then you are not necessarily good enough to play for that club. As opposed to, I think he's probably a good mid-table player in the Premier League, but
he doesn't see the Premier League. Doesn't see the Premier League at all. He's just not strong enough. Simple as that. Football ability-wise, the guy is amazing. He's got all the trickery in the world. He can get on the ball well. He can finish when he gets the opportunity, but he hasn't got that fight and desire and the mentality to play at this level. It's either the Spanish league or back to the Portugal for him. That's the only, or even Saudi Arabia. He goes to those leagues there and he shines because it's not as quick, it's not as physical. But Premier League, I don't think he'd even make it at the mid-table club. He just hasn't got it in him to deal with what teams have got to offer. So, yeah, it's been another shocking transfer that we've had to witness. But like I said, who's to blame? They've got to be able to get rid of him. They've got to take the L and just get him off. Because at the end of the day, like I said, he's disrespected the club. He's saying this and that. I want to stay at Milan. It hasn't worked there for him. Now we're stuck in the position that he's at Cobham training. He's in London with a team that don't want him. So it's just a toxic situation which needs to be resolved as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Felix is one I really want to get out. Not a fan of him whatsoever. Speaking of outgoings, though, Kev, Chelsea have also dropped their asking price by £22 million for Nkunku, and they want around 43.3 million for him. So a very similar amount. In fact, the exact same amount for Nkunku as they want for João Felix. What do you think about that one? Because I personally, I'm open to keeping Nkunku. I think his Club World Cup performances have shown that there's still a desire to perform and still quality in this player. I mean, I've defended Nkunku and people ridiculed me for it because, he didn't run enough against Arsenal, and fine. All right, I can accept that. There's games where he doesn't run as much as others. He's never been a runner. He's not a striker and he's not a winger. So if you give the guy the license to operate as more of a sort of inside forward, operating around that number 10 position, you ultimately see Nkunku perform to a better level. And, that's what Maresca did in the Club World Cup. He allowed Nkunku to play more centrally at times. He did play as a winger as well. I don't dispute that. But he gave him more of a freedom as opposed to being a touchline winger, which is what we're going to see from players like Jamie Gittins. So, I mean, I'm all for selling Nkunku for the right price, but I'm also very keen to keep him if we don't get that money, and I have no problem keeping him. I don't think that he's a big problem in this squad as it stands.
I'm just a bit disappointed in the way he was towards the back end of the season. Just there with his cold, sulking, not looking like he wants it. When he come on another opportunity, he wasn't putting the work in. Obviously, things have changed since the back end of the season. He's gone to the Club World Cup and had decent performances. But I think that's a conversation between him and Maresca to have to them to figure out if he's going to be happy being a squad player. That's what it bears down to. Start the season, have a conversation with him. Are you happy being a squad player next season? If he says yeah, maybe we can keep him on the books. If he's not happy, get him gone. Either way, I'm happy. I'm happy to keep him around because there is an actually top draw player there. If you get his mind right, but we're yet to see it, and we yet to see it consistently. So that's a conversation for them to have. If he's happy being a squad player, keep him on. If not, £22 million all day, every single day, get him gone.
Yeah. What are we saying in the chat, guys? We're saying Nkunku, Xavi Simons takes his place. Prem Talk says Nkunku was unlucky at Chelsea. I think he's been very unlucky, to be honest with you. Palmer as well hasn't helped, having to compete with a player like that. He's always going to play over Nkunku. I appreciate that. But is there still a place in this squad for Nkunku? And I think the answer is yes. Especially if we don't get Xavi Simons. If Simons comes in, then I think you definitely look to move him on more so. But yeah, I mean, I'm not on the hate train for Nkunku. I'm not desperate to sell him. I'm also not desperate to sell Nicholas Jackson, to be honest with you. If we end up keeping Jackson, for me, I think we just got great striker depth. But I would be happy if Chelsea accepted a bid of 60 million, but apparently he's worth 80. That's what they're saying. At least 80 million. They're looking at Ekitike and what Liverpool paid for him. Apparently he's on $250,000 a week as well, which I don't think is true. But that's what I heard earlier on today. Does anyone know what Ekitike's on? Because I heard he's on more than Florian Wirtz, which is crazy.
Has he gone to Liverpool now?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, mate. Liverpool. I've heard that Liverpool have got a lot of money now. A lot of money.
Well, I mean, it's not that they never had; they just never wanted to spend the money, did they?
No, they've literally. Some I think they've got they've got a new sponsorship in there. That standard charge, so they've upped it up the sponsorship. So
mate, the sponsorship is not going to push you up to spending that much money straight away.
Adidas as well. The sponsorship of Adidas as well. That's a world record sponsorship deal they got there, so they've got money to splash. Yeah, so they're going to be forced to be reckoned with next season. But just talk Chelsea. Forget Liverpool. Let's talk Chelsea. Man United are currently unlikely to bid for Nicholas Jackson. It's being downplayed as it stands. What's your thoughts on that one, Alex? Jackson to United. Would he sell to a direct rival? Do you feel like he comes to light and becomes a top class striker? Because to be fair to you, there is a lot of potential there. Do you feel like he's going to fulfill that potential if he goes to Man United?
I think Jackson's a good player, mate. I do think he's a good player, and I think with a little bit more, I'd love to see him play in a front two, and I think that you might see that potentially at United, or at least a little bit more link up between the front line, especially you've got Mbeumo there and Cunha. I think that Jackson, I think he'd be a good player for United, mate. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he'd be a good player. Do I think he's going to get you 25 goals? No. Okay, probably not. I thought at the beginning of the season it was possible. He had a bad injury. We've learned a lesson about Jackson, which is that on the counter-attacks, as a counter-attacking player, he's fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. There's not many better players in the Premier League in that position at driving the ball from midfield and carrying it. Jackson's very good at that. Delap is also really good at that as well. It's interesting that both of them play for us and we don't play in a counter-attacking system, but it seems like Maresca might be more open to that this season than he was last season. So if United are going to play more of a counter-attacking style, then I think Jackson can fit into that. Definitely.
Yeah. I think Jackson as a counter-attacking striker.
You look at every good game he's played, or every good game he's like when he scored. Like, what type of opposition have he played? Like
high lines.
West Ham tried to play a high line. He had a great game.
Low block. He just goes. He just goes missing.
Mate. He does struggle
because he hasn't got the IQ to pick up positions in the box. He's a bit what's the word I'm looking for? Standstillish. So a team that plays counter-attacking football suits him down to the ground. Playing against a high line suits him to the ground. I just don't feel like the system suits him as a striker. He doesn't occupy the spaces that you want. Like you said, him playing off a main guy, obviously playing left, probably play a Cunha up top and him playing off a Cunha for United. That would be Brian and Burnley on the right. That's dangerous. That's a dangerous front three for United. So, yeah. Do you feel like selling to direct rivals good business in this market, or would you look to sell him abroad? Because personally, I don't want to see him in the Premier League. I'm a bit worried that he turns up now and he starts putting in good performance and he gets to that 20-30 goal striker that we want him to be at Chelsea.
Can you just say that last bit again, Kev?
I'm scared that he becomes that 20-30 striker that we want him to be at us.
I'll be honest with you, mate. Like the potential. That's why people are interested in him, because there is potential. Nobody's sitting here. Well, there are people sitting. You said you want to sell him. What are you talking about?
Me?
I do want to sell him. As soon as we sold Madueke, you were like, "When's Jackson gone?"
I do want to sell him. I do want to sell him, but I just don't want to sell him to a rival. Not United.
Yeah, they're the only ones with money. They're the ones with cash.
Eh?
They're the ones with cash, mate.
Yeah, Villa. I'll be happy to do business with Villa because I don't see them as direct rivals. But United now, direct rivals. I'd be more happy to sell him abroad. I think AC Milan was sniffing around it, but I don't think they'll come up with the amount of money that we want for him. And I've already said 50 to 55 million pounds for Jackson. Take it all day. Take it and run. You double what he bought for him.
We'll see, mate. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, listen, I do think that Jackson will stay, mate. I don't think anyone's forking out the money that Chelsea are asking for. I don't think anyone's going to pay it, and I don't think they should pay it. I think it's too much, to be honest with you. But this is one that will frustrate a lot of people. Yeah. Chelsea is still open to offers for Trevor Chalobah. This is because Wesley Fofana is still considered ahead of him in the pecking order. And that one will certainly frustrate a lot of Chelsea fans. I mean, I don't really understand the frustration with Alfie Gilchrist because I think, well, he's just not good enough anyway. But Chalobah's proven that he's more than capable of being a starting centre-back for Chelsea.
No brainer. That guy's performance in the Club World Cup shows everything this guy's about. His performance against Forest last game of the season. He steps up when you need him to. He gets overlooked sometimes, but he never moans, just gets on with it. Brilliant attitude, and definitely a leader within the dressing room. So, yeah, fair play to him for obviously bringing it back. We thought when he went to Palace, that was it. He's come back and he's just shown. And if it wasn't for him coming back, I doubt we would have got top four. He was been that important the last few games of the season. So, thanks to Chav, and we cannot be looking to cash in on him. He's got to stay in and around the team.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. Someone asked me, Cesar Perez, do you think Simmons is a good player? Yeah. I haven't talked about Xavi Simmons yet.
No, go for it, mate. Go for it.
Xavi Simmons, wow. 1v1, he destroys any player. 1v1. And I think I've been a fan of him since I seen him playing when he was 6 years old for Barcelona. Come through the ranks of Barcelona. And I was like, he's going to be the next big thing, like literally from when he was 6. And to see him now making it in football, went to PSG, never quite happened for him. Has gone to RB Leipzig, and he smashed it there. No brainer. If we can get that deal across the line now, do it. And he's a similar kind of player to what's his name, Rodgers from Villa. Similar kind of player, but a lot cheaper. So it makes sense. Similar talent, probably more talented if you ask me. A lot cheaper. So why not? And obviously, if you're going for a João Hato, if you've got Hato and Simmons down the left, you've got the Dutch national team's left side. So, in respective of mixing them both in, and they'll both get on really, really well down that left. So, amazing talent, and I'm all up for it. I feel like that should be our next signing, just to give us a bit more depth on that left-hand side and in the centre as well, 100%.
Yeah, listen, guys, we've got just under 75 likes on YouTube. We've got over 150 of you on YouTube. Let's get up to at least 100, guys. Come on. If you're enjoying the show, show some support. We do appreciate it. Even if you don't smash the like, we're still grateful you're watching. But it all helps. It all helps. And big up to everyone on X as well. We have over 800 people watching on X right now. So if you are on X, smash I think you can do a like button on X, or you can retweet the video. However you interact, it all helps. We very, very much appreciate it. But listen, Kev, we're going to wrap it up there. Really appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everyone as well. I do need to give a shout out before we wrap it up to Donna, who has become a YouTube member again. I thought you were already a member, but listen, big up to you anyway, Donna. There was probably an inappropriate comment in there somewhere, which I've missed. Let's have a look. Mr. Alex, since the day I met you, I became a big and loyal fan of yours. You draw me to yourself. Oh, thank you, Donna. That's not that inappropriate. I mean, I've had a lot worse. So that you know what? That's a respectable comment, Donna. And there you go, Neil. Everyone loves Donna. Everyone loves Donna. Although I'm sure she's unemployed now because she's left Tottenham. So I'm not sure what the crack is there. So where are you working these days? Anyway, really appreciate your time, guys. We'll catch up soon. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We will be doing basically daily updates, whether it's a late evening show or a lunchtime show. Those are the two times we operate. So we tend to sort of interchange every now and again. We'll sort of do a lunch show, and then it basically depends on our schedule. But listen, we'll catch up soon. All the best and enjoy the rest of your day, guys.